Hello, my friends, and welcome to Genealogy Gems podcast episode number 289. I'm Lisa Louise Cooke. Well, I had some things in the hopper for today's episode, and I think I'm going to toss several of them out the window because there has been probably one of the most innovative and exciting launches in quite a while in genealogy just today. Today I'm recording on November 22nd, 2024, and this new innovation is coming out of, not a surprise, MyHeritage. They really are on the forefront of trying to bring new and exciting things to family history, ways to tell stories, to get people interested in family history and genealogy. In addition to all of the records and the tree building and the DNA that they do, they have really focused a lot of their energy on photographs. I love that. I'm such a visual person. I learn and I get inspired by seeing things visually, as do many of our relatives. So it makes a lot of sense to kind of focus on the photos that we have as a way to kind of bring the family stories to life. And not surprisingly, in today's age, they are accomplishing this with artificial intelligence, with AI. So let's jump right into it, talk about it. I want to go through their announcement with you and just see what this feature is, what it can do for you. And then I have a couple things for you at the end of this podcast on totally different subjects, things I still wanted to bring to the table in this November episode. So the new tool that they have launched is called LiveMemory. So this sort of springboards off of a tool that they launched back in 2021. It's hard to believe that it's been that long, but it has been. It was called Deep Nostalgia. It's still available in the myheritage.com website as part of under the photos section of your menu there. And that feature animated photographs. It really went viral. Gosh, it was all over social media, but it had the ability to take a static photo and kind of isolate and identify where the faces were and give you the option to select one of those faces and animate it. Well, that was really cool. But of course, a lot of us looked at that and went, oh yeah, but when are you going to be able to animate the whole photo? Well, that's what they can do. That is absolutely what LiveMemory does. So it really brings it to life using AI because AI has been able to obviously internalize all of the video that is out there on the internet. And there's just mass amounts. I mean, I think about how machine learning kind of first got going with devouring all the books that were in Google Books in order to learn language and then be able to shape language and know what would be a logical way in which language would come together. And so that you can use products like Gemini or ChatGPT to be able to create language by uploading a document, giving it a prompt, whatever. So it's not surprising with video being pretty much the most popular type of content on the internet today, probably far and above anything else, that AI has been able to devour all of this video content and say, oh, arms move this way, legs move this way, clothing flows this way when you're running. I mean, you can imagine all of the little points and details they've been able to map out by looking at video. And now they're bringing that into kind of this live action element. Now, the animation isn't very long. I've done a couple of them this morning, and maybe you've already tried your hand at it. They're just a few seconds long, but it really is incredible. And you could certainly loop a video that you generate this way to create a little bit longer video if you want to put it on social media and have something that people can look at, and you can add some text comments or whatever. So let's first head to their initial announcement and talk about some of the details, because this is certainly going to be evolving as time goes on, just like the nostalgia tool did. At first, it was kind of like get out there and make this happen and put it out there. And then they had to put some limitations on it because, as you can imagine, there's got to be a really high cost in not only developing this kind of technology, getting the infrastructure for it, but just the storage alone. I can't even imagine with the amount of video and photographs being generated and how large those files are. Because that's the thing. Video is a much larger file, obviously, than just a text document. So they're kind of dealing with that and having to balance that. Daniel Horowitz, our friend over there, the head genealogist at MyHeritage, shared in his email several different examples. One was of a young dancer, a photograph of a woman, in mid-stride in her dancing, and LiveMemory was able to make her be able to dance, do a circle, knowing what dancing, and particularly that type of dance, might look like based on all the video that it's consumed. So as of the launch today, they are making it available for free. And what we have learned is it's not going to be unlimited. So you can go to myheritage.com and you have to use the app initially to do this. This isn't yet on desktop. I'm sure it will come to desktop as many of the tools have. But you'll want to get the MyHeritage app from your app store if you don't already have it. And that's a free download. So that's kind of a no-brainer. Go get that and get that on your phone. You can get an initial account and sign in with that. And you can create some of these for free. So you'll need to be able to work with photos that you already have in the photos section of your account. So, maybe if you have never used the MyHeritage app and you don't have any photos in there, that would be your first step, is to go find a couple of photos that you would like to try this with. And a simple way to do that, something that I've done is I'll have old family photos in, let's say, Dropbox. So on my phone, I can save those to my phone. So they're sitting right on my phone. And then you can use the app and just select photos from your phone. You can also upload them on the website. And then once they appear there in the app, you can select them and apply the LiveMemory. So it enables you to turn any still photo into a short video on the app. And you'll want to make sure that you have the latest version of the app. So if for some reason, when you open it up and you look and you don't see MyHeritage with a banner across the top, right now the banner says LiveMemory, bring your photos to life in video, and there's an orange button, try it now. That's what you should see when you get to the home screen. If you don't, you probably or may not have the updated version of the app. So really simple way to check is to go back to your app store, look at MyHeritage. If you have not yet updated the app on your phone, you'll see a button that says update. You can just tap it and that'll update it. I noticed that when I opened the MyHeritage app, it updated automatically. So it took a few seconds before it launched. And then sure enough, there was the banner so that you could tap the try it now button. So let's then head over to the blog post. And MyHeritage has a great blog. They keep you abreast of things that are going on over there. This one's called Introducing LiveMemory, Bring Your Photos to Life in Video. It was published late yesterday, November 21st. And they have some really cool examples that they have shown as examples. They have a couple sitting, looks like maybe in the 60s or 70s, on a blanket out in the garden. And it's not just, him strumming the guitar and her, moving her head, but it's grass flowing and you can see the breeze. I mean, it's really amazingly authentic looking, if you will. And that's interesting because we already know that there's what they call deep fakes online. So nowadays, when we see a photo or we see a video, we can't even always be sure that that's even real or that those are real people. So I'm really happy to say that one of the things they emphasize in this blog post is that they want to make sure that people can tell the difference. So just like when Deep Nostalgia came out and they put the little watermarks that showed, hey, this has been corrected or enhanced, this has been colorized. Obviously, if it's been animated, it was very clear it was not real. But in the same way, we're seeing that they are addressing those concerns here with the LivemMemory. In fact, I'm going to go to my computer here. I've been saving some of these videos. I've done 3 of them so far. And yes, when you watch the video, you'll see that in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little round dot and it says AI, as it should. So kudos to them for being responsible. They want to help us be accurate, be responsible, and I really appreciate them doing that. And from what I can see, the clips tend to run about 5 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see also if maybe that will expand as well once they kind of get this going. Or maybe they will allow subscribing users to have longer clips. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay. So we use it on our app, on our phone. We need to grab that photo either from our phone or upload it to our account in MyHeritage to be able to use it. They are going to mark it as being AI. So how long does it take? Well, when you run it, you can imagine today they must be swamped, really swamped. So it took a couple of minutes. So what they'll do is they'll give you a little message saying, hey, check your email in a couple of minutes, you'll get your video. And so this is interesting too. In this case, right now, they are not saving this in your account. They're going to email you the 5-second video to the email account on your MyHeritage account. So when the email first comes in, it'll say, hey, it's ready, but don't go running to the app. Actually scroll down and look because you're going to see it attached at the bottom of the email. And you'll want to click the download button and download it to your hard drive. I actually kind of like that because it encourages us to retain the final content ourselves on our own computer, which I'm a big advocate of. I think it's really important to not just have the stuff that we're working on only on somebody else's website. We're going to save it to our computer. I know my computer is backed up with Backblaze. I use Backblaze as my online backup. Check it out, backblaze.com/Lisa, because if you haven't backed up your computer, you need to. You're going to want to because you're not going to want to lose these videos that you're creating, let alone all the other data on your computer. So look for the email, download it to your computer, and just be prepared to be amazed because it's pretty cool. I had to call Bill in because I had taken a photograph of, it's from the 1950s. Let me think how old he is in that picture. He's probably about 6. So it's late 1950s. His dad is playing the organ. His mom is pregnant with their youngest child, his youngest sister, Carol. And the 3 kids are kind of on their laps, and Bill is standing behind him. And anyway, they're all together, gathered around the organ, and there's his dad playing the organ. And it's really cool for me. I never got to meet Bill's dad. So just seeing him in action, not just his face moving around in the deep nostalgia, but to really see him doing what the Cooke family loved, which was music, is just incredible. I am really excited, actually. I am really excited to share this with my family on Thanksgiving because I think they're going to be pretty blown away. So hopefully you'll be as thrilled as I was. You'll notice in some of them, AI can't always figure out what should be happening. So one thing I did notice is that sometimes the faces change a little bit as they're moving. I mean, that's got to be really difficult, even for AI, to figure out how to keep the authentic look of the face intact as it's moving side to side. And I saw that in an example of me as about a 7-year-old sitting on my grandmother's lap. And we're just looking straight at the camera. But as we're kind of moving our heads in the video, we change a little bit, not too much, but you wouldn't say it's 100% precisely, it retains the look of my face and her face. There's a little variation. A much bigger example of that was, do you remember Romper Stompers? If you watched Romper Room as a kid, like I did, then you might remember Romper Stompers. They were like cups that you'd stand on and you'd string a big rope through it, and you'd have one rope for one cup in each hand, and then you'd pull them up and you'd almost make yourself like a marionette. If you haven't seen it, that doesn't probably sound like it makes any sense. But I remembered as a kid, it was, oh gosh, we thought it was so cool when they did that. My mom made me my own set of romper stompers. We couldn't afford to go out to the store to get them, but she got 2 tin cans, had my dad drill holes in them and ran the ropes through them. And I have a photograph of me and my dad on the back porch doing romper stompers. So you can only imagine what AI tried to make out of that. So it didn't understand, oh, you lift one leg at a time. It has me kind of hopping along 2 legs at a time, which would have been quite a feat. But it has my dad almost leaping up and hanging in midair. So that's kind of fun on its own. So keep in mind, as you're selecting your photographs, you might want to be thinking a little bit, if it's kind of really unusual action, AI might not quite be able to make total heads or tails of it, but it's entertaining anyway. Now, if you are listening to this episode right as it launches, you might find that this feature is taking a while, or occasionally it's even having an outage. I imagine that's just the millions and millions of people who are going to be using it. But it will get more stable as time goes on. And certainly these are going to be really fun to share. So if you put one of these little videos together, put it on social media, you can do hashtag MyHeritage and also hashtag LivemMemory. Even if you're not doing it yet, but you want to see a ton of examples, if you were to go on to Instagram or Facebook and just search those hashtags, hashtag MyHeritage, hashtag LivemMemory, you'll see what everybody's been up to and their videos of their photographs. So that'd be kind of fun. Stay right there. I've got more details for you right after this. Today's episode is sponsored by MyHeritage, a global discovery platform enjoyed by 110 million people worldwide. MyHeritage has it all and offers a full-service experience that bridges your past, present, and future. The MyHeritage DNA Kit reveals your ethnic origins and finds your new relatives based on shared DNA. It's popular all over the world, and their constantly growing DNA database means that more matches to new relatives are just around the corner. You'll receive a percentage breakdown of your ethnic origins from 42 supported regions and weekly email updates as new DNA matches are found. It's also the leading DNA service for anyone with European origins. Make the most of your DNA results with a MyHeritage subscription and access advanced tools for genetic genealogy, like the theory of family relativity, autoclusters, shared ancestral places, and much more. Order your kit today at myheritage.com/DNA. Already taken a DNA test with another service? Upload your DNA data to MyHeritage for free to receive DNA matches and access new discoveries. That's myheritage.com/DNA. So one of the questions they posed on the blog post was, are LiveMemory videos authentic? And so, of course, the answer is no. So while they're highly realistic, it says the video clips are reenactments, which I think is an interesting way to put it. They are reenactments created by artificial intelligence. They're not authentic. And so they do distinguish them with that AI watermark. Around the area of privacy, they say here that any photo you upload to the LiveMemory feature will be stored on your account on MyHeritage. Now, this is interesting because when I sat in on the sneak peek webinar about this, they said they were not going to be stored. They were going to be emailed to you and you need to download them. So just as I'm reading it now, either this is in place, they're going to store it in your account, or it's soon coming. So that's actually kind of nice. It'll be in your account, but you still get the download attached to the email. And I really recommend that you do download it yourself. So they're saying that because it's stored with your account, you're going to be able to use the other MyHeritage photo tools to improve it. Interesting. You may delete the photo at any time from your account. MyHeritage will not license or sell your photos to third parties and will not use them to train internal AI models. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess the main reason for that is you don't want to take an AI model of a video that is imperfect and then use that to train AI because it would, again, replicate and internalize those imperfections. So that wouldn't make sense. It says here, LiveMemory is based on technology from a third party that does not obtain rights to your photo or the output video. Your explicit consent is required, granting MyHeritage permission to process your photo before activating the LiveMemory feature. So I really appreciate the attention to detail that they've done in terms of privacy. And they do ask you to pay attention to the details around responsibility and the kinds of photos that you're uploading. And they go into, they're not going to tolerate pornography or really offensive subject matter or military scenes or dead people. Daniel told me that they actually have live people who will review these, at least initially, to ensure I imagine eventually they may be able to automate or technologically check for these violations in terms of responsibility and offensive material, which would make it a lot easier on them. So you can imagine, again, that would be part of the delay process, and it takes several minutes to receive your video because they're still checking this out and making sure with real people that it's working appropriately and that people are using it responsibly. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of cost. It says anyone can try LiveMemory for free for a limited number of videos. So we don't know what the exact limit is. I would say select carefully the ones that you want to do the most because we don't know how many that will be. And I imagine some of that will be based on the kind of response it gets, the volume that they're dealing with. They may have to put restrictions on that. If you want to create more LiveMemory videos, then you're going to need to have either an annual photo plan or their Omni plan. The annual photo plan currently it costs $49.90 USD per year, and it's available exclusively on the MyHeritage app. That's where you do that plan. It provides unlimited access to all of the other MyHeritage photo features, which are all very cool, including MyHeritage in color, the photo enhancer, the photo repair, and deep nostalgia, and the photo scanner, which is a nifty tool if you need to quickly digitize, let's say, a scrapbook, and you don't want to be pulling all the pictures out. Users with a photo plan can create 20 LiveMemory videos annually. So again, select carefully exactly which ones you want to do the most. And they say, as a thank you for their loyalty, complete subscribers are eligible for a 25% discount on the photo plan, again, which is purchased in the app. So that makes it $37. Users with MyHeritage Omni plan can create 30 videos annually. So I will have links in the show notes that take you there. We very much appreciate when you use our links. It lets MyHeritage know that you came from us, from Genealogy Gems, and they are a sponsor of our podcast. And they just have been an amazing sponsor all these years. I'm talking about this because I just think this is super cool, and I know you're going to want to know about it. They have just been a wonderful supporter of Genealogy Gems and made it possible for this show to stay absolutely free for you. And of course, they keep bringing us lots of great tools. So we appreciate them. And so we'll have our links there in the show notes. That's over at genealogygems.com. And I hope that you're subscribed to the newsletter, because the newsletter is the quickest way to get our newest releases like this podcast episode. And there's always a red button link that will take you directly to the show notes page. You can also find our show notes by going to the website, and from any blog post, video page, we have a search feature, a search box, and we have a drop-down category topics menu on every single content page. So you could always just search MyHeritage, and this blog post and podcast episode will pop right up. So I'm sure, again, this will continue to evolve. You'll want to stay tuned to this show because we're going to bring you all the latest on it. I am going to put together a YouTube video on this, which will also be on my website so that you can see it in action and see some of the fun stuff that I came up with on my end. I hope you have fun with it. I love seeing this kind of technology. I assumed that this full animation was coming And so it's just really nice to see that it's here. And I don't know. So, okay, I'm really curious. What do you think the next thing will be? Right? So they enhanced the photos, they colorized them, they animated the individual faces. Now they're animating the entire photograph. What's the next step? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What would you like to see? I mean, who knows? With AI, it seems like there's a lot of things that are possible. So on our show notes page, head down to the comments section at the bottom of the page. Leave your comment there. Oh my gosh, I'd love to hear your ideas and your wish list. I do have an opportunity to talk to MyHeritage on a regular basis, so I am going to just share your ideas with them and let them know. So we'll just all look forward to whatever the next new bright, shiny object is that they have. But I hope this one brings you a lot of fun and a lot of joy over the holidays. You know, after the political season we've been through in the last year, isn't it really nice to be able to get the family together, and no matter what your opinions are on other things, you can laugh together and have fun and learn more about your family history, get the kids engaged. This is awesome. Kudos to MyHeritage. Oh, and if you would like to take a look at the LiveMemory that I put together, check out the show notes for this episode, number 289, over at genealogygems.com. I also posted the video of it over on the Genealogy Gems podcast Facebook page. Head over to Facebook and like and follow the page over there. And I posted it on Instagram as well. So this was particularly exciting to me because as soon as I saw the LiveMemory results, I knew how I was going to be using it. Way back in 2008 here on the podcast, I talked about that we had received a box of, old stuff from Bill's grandfather. It actually came to us through a cousin, and it was stuff that belonged to his grandfather, Raymond Cooke. And back in the day, Raymond and his wife both played in the orchestra for the old silent films. So they would play in the orchestra pit live at the theater back at the turn of the century. In fact, that's how they met. So they loved to play. He played violin, she played the piano and the organ. And in the 1950s, they used to get together quite often with the family when Bill was young, and they would play music. So Bill's father played the organ. His other grandfather, his maternal grandparents played music. So they all did this. But Nana and Bumpa had been over to the house, and they had recorded on a reel-to-reel tape from the 1950s. And I was able to get it digitized. I've had this audio in the form of an MP3 file, just like any audio or podcast file. And I have one photograph of Nana and Bumpa. They were actually dressed up in costume, kind of old-timey costumes at the time, from the 1950s, playing together. He's playing the violin, she's playing the piano. Oh, this is the perfect application for something like LivemMemory. And so I animated it through the LiveMemory tool, got the video, which again is about 5 seconds. And then I used my video editing skills to pull it together with the audio and kind of expand it out. If you've been following Genealogy Gems for a while, you know that I've covered video editing of sorts, how to edit your home movies, how to do all kinds of stuff with them. And so if you want to learn more about this, there are definitely videos, particularly in the premium section, on how to do home movie editing and all kinds of interesting stuff that you can create, media that you can share with your family. In this case, what I did was I replicated the 5-second image a couple times, did some zooming effects in and out. I did some color adjustment so I could get it just the way I wanted it, and added the MP3 of the music of them playing back in the 1950s when the photo was taken. And it all comes together in about a 35-second video of this photo coming to life and being able to hear it. Now, I would not be surprised if down the road, bringing in audio or at least maybe some backing tracks, some music backing tracks will be an option may be available through MyHeritage. I'm certainly sure that must be on their radar because it's such a logical extension of being able to expand into animating your photos. But if you want to see it now and you kind of like what you see, head to the comments section on the show notes and let me know. And if that is something that you would be interested in being able to do, animating photos, maybe pulling them together in a video program, adding music, adding narration, I might be able to put together a video tutorial on that. So let me know in the comments section if that's of interest to you. But if nothing else, go and enjoy kind of my expanded version of LiveMemory. All right, well, coming up next, we have kind of a little bit of a related item, and that is around, again, artificial intelligence. Stay right there. But first, check out this from our wonderful sponsors. Imagine curling up in a cozy chair, scrolling through newspapers.com and discovering a family member smiling back at you in a photograph that you've never seen before. Well, give the genealogy lover in your life a gift subscription to newspapers.com and make this a reality. They'll break through genealogy brick walls with access to hundreds of years of wedding announcements, obituaries, family stories, and so much more. There's always something new to discover on newspapers.com, with a growing archive of over 1 billion pages from the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and beyond. Long after other gifts are forgotten, a newspapers.com gift subscription will continue to delight. Make the past the best present ever. For listeners of today's show, newspapers.com is offering 20% off gift subscriptions for a limited time. So visit newspapers.com/genealogygems. That's newspapers.com/genealogygems. Sign up today and embark on a journey of discovery. Okay, we're back. Now, I want to share with you the audio from a video I did recently called Spot This Genealogy Error and Fix It. You can watch the video on our website as well as on our Genealogy Gems YouTube channel at youtube.com/genealogygems. But I want to bring it to your ears as well because there are some important lessons and some good strategies that you can put into play in your own research to keep things accurate. Have you figured out that not everything you see on TV or online is true? I hope so. It's certainly very clear that that's the case. And that poses some problems for us when we're trying to do genealogy research. Whether we're watching a TV show or we're coming across a blog article or a YouTube video, whatever we're looking at, it can be really enticing to believe what you see or what you read because it fits what you would like to think. You want more information on your family. You want to feel like you're making progress and you're getting further back and you found photographs. So it's really exciting when those results pop up. But I'm here today to talk about why that is a trap and how to save you and me from getting into trouble, grabbing onto information that actually isn't correct. And once we get that incorporated into our family tree, into our software, into any books that we're publishing or whatever it is we're doing, it just becomes a nightmare because it just gets replicated so quickly. And if you spend much time looking at online family trees, you know that's definitely the case. And it's really been the case ever since online family trees first began. So I wanted to share with you today a short story about something that happened in my world in the last week that I think illustrates this and also gives us a couple of tips on what we can do to verify the information that we're finding and make sure that we're not incorporating stuff that is inaccurate into our family history. So the other day I was watching a news program, which I don't know, when I was growing up, it was a news program. It was like, oh, that's really authoritative. Well, we might take that with a grain of salt these days, but it was a news program. And they had a little segment in the show where they were talking about this day in history. That's really popular to do. Anybody can go on to like historychannel.com and type in a date and you can find a list of things that happened at any particular time over history on that date. So that's probably what they did. They grabbed a topic. Well, it was the story of Nat Turner's rebellion. And what they were talking about was that this date in history, November 5th, was the date that he was tried and convicted. But it was November 5th, 1831. Now, I'm watching the show, and while the story's being told, a photograph of Nat Turner pops up on the screen. It was probably on the screen for 7 to 10 seconds tops, and it was supposedly of Nat Turner. Well, as I'm continuing to listen to this story, really quickly, like bells are going off in my head, and I hit the pause button, and I looked at my husband, and I said, "There's something not right. That can't be Nat Turner." And he's like, "What?" It dawned on me as I'm looking at this photograph. It's up on the TV screen, and I'm looking at this photo, and they're talking about this November 5th of 1831. Well, photography really didn't come into existence until about 1826. And if you look at this photograph, I mean, while there, I suppose, could have been a photograph of Nat Turner, it was very, very unlikely in 1831. And in this case, one of the things that really jumped out to me about this photograph was kind of how bright and fairly modern it looked for the 19th century. If I had to guess, I would say this photo is maybe from the 1860s or something like that. But it couldn't have been Nat Turner because he was executed. So I had to stop right there and figure out, how did this news show end up with this photograph that they're portraying as Nat Turner, which, if this were my ancestors' family's story, I'd want the accurate information, right? So I want to share with you a couple of ways in which I went about figuring this out very quickly. And first and foremost, I want to say, trust your instincts. So if you see something and you look at a photograph and it's not kind of jiving with the time frame or the history of photography, I mean, those are some of your first and easiest clues. And don't disregard them. As badly as we want to find photographs of our ancestors, if it's not really them, it's not worth glomming onto. And we don't want to incorporate it into the family history. So once I kind of determined that, what I did was I grabbed my phone and I just held it up and took a photograph of what was on the screen, on the TV screen. And then I used my photo app to crop it down so it was really just focused. I just ended up with an image of the photo itself, not all the stuff that's on the screen behind it or the cabinetry, that the TV sits on. So now I have an image. What I then did was I went to the Google app on my phone. And first and foremost, I really quickly just ran a search on when was photography invented. And like I said, it's right around 1826. That's about the time frame that it first started. And it wasn't a photograph of a person at all. Was the first photo certainly wasn't. So then I thought, okay, well, are there photographs of Nat Turner? Is that even possible in 1831? So in my Google search app, I'm going to type Nat Turner, 1831, and run the results. Now, when you get the results, you're going to get the website results page, and that's going to probably have an AI write-up that they have grabbed from some website, but that's not what we want. I'm going to tap the images results, and there's your clue number 2. On the images, if you scroll through, it's all artwork. It's line drawings, paintings, graphics of some type. Why? Because there is no photograph of Nat Turner in 1831. And he didn't live beyond that year, so there wouldn't be one afterward. And that's clue number 2, that somebody's got something wrong here. It's not Nat Turner. Okay, so if there's no photograph of him, what could we do to try to figure out how this mistake happened? Next step, I'm going to go back in my Google app, clear my query at the top in the search bar and the results, and I'm going to tap the Google Lens icon that's in the search bar. And I'm doing this on my phone. I've already taken the photograph from the screen on my phone, so I'm going to not hold it up again to the screen because I want a nice cropped picture of just the photograph that was shown on the screen. So I'm going to tap the photo button to the left of the big white search button, And it allows you to pull an image from your photo roll on your phone. So in my case, I don't always have that available, so I'm going to tap Allow Access. This one time I'm going to do that. It will take me to my settings where I can change it to allow Google to use my images off my phone, at least temporarily. So I did that, and I went to the photograph that I took in my app roll, tapped that, and then tapped Search. And interestingly, let me pull this up here too. There are multiple copies of this image online. This is what caused me to go back and actually look at the original photograph I took of the screen. And sure enough, it did say that the source they got it from was the NAACP, Austin.com. Now, that website isn't necessarily a authoritative, historical website. It's the NAACP's website. That's great. Their authority on their subject matter. But we can't be sure that they got this photo right. Now that I'm looking at the search results where Google took the image I gave it and found exact matches, we can then look through and realize, okay, this has actually been copied and replicated on several different websites in their blog posts. Probably for a blog post for this day in history, right? So from there, my guess is NAACP Austin either grabbed it off of X or Springer, or you could go through and click on each one and see which one is the oldest blog post to see, perhaps, who was the original culprit in grabbing the wrong image. So how did they end up with this photograph as a representative image of Nat Turner? Well, our related search at the very top, Google's given us a really good clue. Charles Henry Turner. If you search on Charles Henry Turner on Google, you will find all kinds of information about him. It says here, Charles Henry Turner, according to the Britannica Encyclopedia website, is an African-American entomologist. And he was very well known, but get this, he was born in 1867. So I think I was right. This photograph was much later than 1831 for sure. And you could just kind of tell that from the look of the photo itself. So chances are if he's, let's say, 30 years old in that, this is more like 1897 than it is 1831. So I'm sure that Charles Henry Turner's family isn't really interested in having their ancestors' photograph attached across the internet as Nat Turner of the Nat Turner's Rebellion. So bottom line here is whenever we are searching online or reading other people's content, watching their videos, whether it's on TV, if it's on the news, I don't care who it is, if you feel like this is information worthy of adding to your family history, then you've got to go check it out yourself. Find primary sources that can give you evidence that you indeed have the right accurate information, the right photograph. If it isn't right, it'd be really interesting to kind of track down where did it originally come from, how did that happen, and then maybe alert those people to the fact that you've got the wrong guy there. In fact, I did. I wrote an email to the producer of that show. I got an email back saying that they had received my email and would take a look at it, but nobody has gotten back to me since. But I know that I did my part to try to correct the record. I think this is going to sharpen all of us. We all have to be on our toes and using our analytical skills on a regular basis, no matter what we're doing. And that's certainly true for genealogy. Oh, this has been a fun episode. I'm glad I tossed a couple of those things off my desk that I was going to do because I just think the MyHeritage LiveMemory tool is super cool, very pertinent. I mean, their timing couldn't be better. And in terms of the launch, I hope you have fun with that. I'd love to have you share with me if you get a crazy result or really, heart-wrenching, tear-jerking result. If you want to email me, I hope you will. service@genealogygems.com. And if you're a premium member, put premium in the subject line. We always look at premium member emails first. I tend to get a lot of email, and so we try to get those prioritized. If you're a premium member, that's one of the perks is that we attend to your emails and respond as soon as possible. And if you have not yet become a member, this is a great time, or maybe you have a friend who might enjoy premium membership for a gift this year. Check it out at genealogygems.com. On the homepage, just click the premium membership button, and I will have a link to help you learn more about premium membership and register if you'd like on the show notes page. And we do have gift certificates available. So a wonderful gift for your loved ones and friends. If there's something that you'd like to hear in particular about, or a question that you have you'd like to have me take on in one of these podcast episodes, I hope you'll send them to me at service@genealogygems.com. Also, we love getting your comments and your feedback. So you can head to the show notes page for this episode and go down to the bottom of the page to the comments section. Leave your comments there. Let us know if you were able to put into play and practice some of the things we talked about in this episode and how it's helping your research. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving here in the U.S. I've got 3 grown daughters. One lives in Florida, and they have a brand new baby this year. My daughter Hannah had her second baby, little Mikey. And so she's got 2 under 2. They'll be staying in Florida this year for Thanksgiving, and he's got some family in Florida, so they're going to have that together. We'll get on FaceTime, but here in Texas, my daughter Vienna and her family and Lacey and her husband are all headed to our house, and we're going to have a fun Thanksgiving dinner together and just giving thanks to God for all of the blessings each and every day and throughout this year. It's been an amazing year for us. I am certainly giving thanks for the blessing of being free of cancer. It was quite a challenging year going through chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, and, hard for me, but it's really hard on family members. And I know many of you have family members that you love and that you are caretaking and that are going through their own struggles. And my encouragement to you is just to know that what I have found is that God can make blessings out of any situation. He sharpens us in those challenging times. He makes us better people, more loving people, and He helps us to lean on Him more. So we can give Him thanks for the fact that even the hard times, He's never absent. He's just right there with us. And I am so grateful for that, thankful for that, and thankful for you. Thank you so much for listening, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.